if I was to put forward £1,000, you'd be happy to sell me the car?
Yes.
Well, you join me on my way to go and collect my dream car. This is a car that, if you've been watching the channel since its inception, probably 7 or 8 years ago, I've been blabbering on about this thing ever since then. I've always talked about wanting to buy one. I've always talked about, should I be buying one now? But it got to the point where I simply just had to do it. I had to make it happen, and here we are. In classic It's Joel fashion though, this has not been a straightforward or simple purchase. The car has a big story behind it, and yeah, there's a lot to get into, but right now I just want to go there, get the keys, have a look around it, show you all the M6 that I've bought, and finally get to sit in it and drive it home forever. We're on our way to pick up my dream car, and trust me, this thing is in a pretty sorry state. However, it's been thoroughly cleaned prior to my collection, and so although on the surface it might not look too bad, there is a lot of stories to tell underneath. Okay, we're about to arrive, and I am incredibly nervous. I see it, I see the car, Katie, I see it. This is it here. That's it, look. That's my M6! Oh my goodness, I'm terrified. What have I done? Right, formalities are completed. Key is in my pocket. That is my M6. So I can't quite believe I'm saying. I think I'm shaking. I'm extremely nervous, just because this has been a dream of mine for years. I mean, ever since 2006, 2005, when Top Gear did the episode with that, the V8 Vantage, and the, oh gosh, what else? The 997 911 on the Isle of Man. I've just always wanted one of these. And there is quite a story with this car in particular, which you'll have to wait and hear about a little bit more, because right now I just want to show you it, go on our first little drive and get it home. So let's try not to get hit by anything. This is it. Ah, M6. Let's have a quick look at the outside, and then I'll show you in there in just a second. So, E63 M6, as you know, 5 litre V10 engine. This one is, oh, I always forget the name. It's not carbon black, it's something else. It's black. It's got silver wheels, which are the standard wheels, and we've got a black interior too, which we'll look at in a minute. Now, my dream spec for an M6, bearing in mind it's taken me years and years and years and years to finally buy one. Was it black on black? No. This is probably the last spec I would have ever wanted, but again, there's particular reasons why I've bought this particular car. Of course, with it being an M6, carbon fibre roof, which, yeah, I think it might need re-lacquering and give it a good old polish, but it does look very dull and scratched. So that'll be something to look at. Massive, massive wheels on these there. I think, what are they, 285 rear section on these M6s. These tyres are almost 10 years old and cracking, so I'm literally going to get home on them today, hopefully, and we'll be getting some new tyres, which will be an interesting thing with them being so wide. A little bit of bubbling on the rear arch there. And let me show you inside, because the main thing I suppose that's interesting about this car is, well, two things. It's incredibly high mileage, probably the highest mileage M6 I can remember seeing, really. I don't think I've ever seen them advertised really this high. It's got just over 127,000 miles, and it's done all of those miles, or basically it's done none of those miles in the last 4 or 5 years. It's been abandoned, quite frankly. And these are two things that enticed me into this particular car, because I like to get something back up to scratch, and I guess I'd always dreamed of buying my dream spec M6 with delivery mileage on it when I came to buy my dream car, but actually I want to drive this thing, and so the fact it's already got moon miles on it just means it won't matter if I add many, many more onto it. Oh, goodness me. This thing feels massive, and I just can't, I've driven 2 of these cars on the channel, and yeah, the only 2 times therefore I've sat in one has been when I've gone for a drive, but it's never been mine. And I can't believe this is it. So SMG transmission, big dials in front of me, 8,500-ish RPM red line, 200 miles an hour indicated on the speedo, and this will do over 200 miles an hour if you have the limiter taken off. Heads up display on these cars, and this one has the extended leather, so all of this sort of iDrive surround and dash surround is leather. What else to talk about? Electric wheel, Alcantara suede headlining, and despite the age and mileage, it's 20 years old almost, this car, there's no sagging to it whatsoever, which is quite rare actually, so that's really good. Beautiful seats with loads of adjustment, and yeah, I think really what we ought to do is start it up, let it warm a little bit. As I say, this thing has done no miles, and take it home. What do you reckon? All right, shall I give it a start? Do you want to go around to the back and you can hear it for the first time? Where do we put the key? Here we go. 9 miles of range. Fantastic. It's a little bit rough, but again, I think it just needs full tank of Shell V-Power, good old Italian tune-up. But yeah, what do you say? Let's take it home, shall we? The first thing I've got to do with this SMG gearbox is maneuver it out of a tight spot. Not exactly the most exciting or dramatic debut exit. Let's go. This is it. The dream. This is absolutely crazy. I've finally got an M6, finally. And I'm so pleased I get to bring you guys along. As a very apt introduction to M6 ownership, I have got precisely 3 miles of fuel range remaining. So the very first task is straight to Shell here up the road to put in some V-Power, and then we can think about going home. But my goodness, I haven't quite appreciated the fact I'm driving my M6 yet, because it's just so surreal. And listen, this is not by any stretch of the imagination a massively expensive car. You can buy these for around and under £10,000 these days, but it's just the very thought of it, owning my own naturally aspirated V10, and these are notorious for being really expensive to run, and it's something you can always find an excuse not to buy, but I have finally done it. And as mentioned, and I'm teasing you a lot, there is a very interesting story behind this car, and I'll let you into a secret. I didn't pay anywhere near £10,000 for this thing. I think we'll talk about all of that more in the next video, because I just truly want to focus on, firstly, not running out of fuel, and secondly, just getting home. I'm also very keen to take this jumper off because the air conditioning it doesn't work. This will be the first of many, many tanks, I would have thought. Here we go. So I think, what's the deal with these? You have to put it into neutral, handbrake on. I fear this is going to be a very familiar sight with this car, but honestly, I'm no stranger to having uneconomical cars. Right, I just put in 25 litres, and that's given us about a third of a tank. I think the tank in this is just over 80, and 140 miles of range. Now, I didn't fill it up because I've learnt the hard way before, i.e. Maserati 4200. Don't put 120 quid of fuel in a car that you've just bought that is going to brake after 50 miles. But listen, I don't think this is going to brake. This is not some Copart M6 that I bought for 300 quid. This, in theory, is actually a really nice car. It just needs to be loved. It just needs to be driven, actually, for a start. And that's exactly what I intend to do. But there is, as I say, some interesting background with this thing. Parking sensors work, that's good, isn't it? But in my first, not even 2 miles, it's feeling good. I've got it straight into manual mode, not faffing about with the auto at all. But you know what, I'm gonna give it a go. And yes, that's right, we're not even in M mode. Of course, this has M mode. If I press this button here, that's right, gives us the full 507 horsepower, because when you jump in it in the morning and switch it on, it's only running 400. It's literally got a tunable map essentially from factory. So 507 horsepower, we can have a ferocious gear shift, we can adjust our dampening control, our traction control, and then yeah, this button here for power. But I'm, as I say, just taking it very easy. I'm gonna let it get right up to temperature, and then yeah, we'll give it a little bit of beans. But as I mentioned, those tyres absolutely need replacing. Let's go for the most aggressive gear shift. Now I think to do that, I've got to put the traction control off, and there we go. Now I can select the most aggressive gear shift, and yeah, nothing really major on the downshift there. Let's try a downshift into first. It's a little... Guys, the sound that this car makes is quite literally heavenly. I'm just going to drop the windows ever so slightly, and we're just going to go for a little bit of a first pull. Not anything crazy. So the car drives straight and true, there's no rattles. I've got that wonderful heads-up display in front of me. It's so retro, but it's just all the information you're ever going to need. And considering we're on really bad tyres here, with the suspension in its now softest mode, it's very compliant. I mean, I love, this is my favourite type of car. Big engine, naturally aspirated, great noise, but it's still really comfortable. Almost practical, you could say, as well. And of course, I was sat there in 6th gear, but I forget this is a 7-speed transmission. So we have 7th, and actually at 60 miles an hour, just around 2000 RPM, it's a fairly civilized affair. It is, and it's such a cliche, a Swiss Army knife car. You've got a great honking V10 under the bonnet, but you would never know right now. In fact, you take your grandma to church in it, you should think, oh, it's just a nice BMW, posh BMW, but really this thing is a motorsporting monster. The handling as well is so light, but in a way that is really communicative. It's hard to explain, but it's. I've always thought this when I've reviewed these before. They've just got such lovely steering for such a great big car, and something that weighs almost 1.8 tons. This has got the original iDrive system, so you sort of have to go in here to choose exactly where you want the air vents to blow you air from. It's going to take me a bit of a while to work it out. We've got sat nav, and I believe this car also has a television as well. Yes, it does. So we can watch television when my wife can watch television when she's sat waiting for me to fill up the car at the fuel pump. We've also got this optional cup holder here, which I'm pleased about, because I think it's about 300 or 400 quid to buy one of these from BMW. So the previous owner could have easily just nabbed that off, and I still would have bought the car. Yeah, I mean, there's so much I want to speak to you about, but I really want to go into more depth in it and not make this video 4 hours long. So we're going to save it. But really, it may be boring for the video, but ultimately this so far has been a completely uneventful and pleasant drive, apart from the lack of air conditioning. It's rather sweaty in here. Temperatures are all good. We've only used 15 miles of fuel in the last 2 miles, so you know, got at least 20 miles of range, and yeah, everything is fine. I should say, I've not said this, this is literally the first time I've driven the car. I bought the car about 3 weeks ago now, and again, it's complicated, but I bought the car about 3 weeks ago. It needed some work doing, surprise, surprise. Turned out that it actually needed a bit more work doing, and if you go and look at the MOT history, which I'm sure you probably will now you've seen the number plate, you'll get a bit of a clue as to what that extra work was. But anyway, I bought the car on the phone. I went and saw it after I'd sent the money. Obviously, I was just always going to be happy with it. And yeah, this is literally the first time I've driven the car. So it is all very surreal for me. It's like you though, I'm getting a little bit bored of 7th gear, so why don't we just... Oh, I'm going to be a bit naughty. Oh, listen to the downshift, it's going to go for 2nd. You ready? Oh! I think the car is in... I don't know what it's in, but it shifted for me there. That's in drive. This should be full manual. Let's try that one more time. See, that was only 7,500 RPM of the 8250 or thereabouts available. But needless to say, I adore it. I love every little thing about the M6. And that is why I've bought one. And I just can't wait to get the miles going on this thing. Get it sounding better. Definitely that's a priority. And to get some new tyres on it so I can really give it a good old thrashing. But yes, 127,356 mile V10 M6. What could possibly go wrong? And I hope you're as excited as I am to partake in this unknown M6 journey. Next week, I'm going to let you into the story of this particular car and why I bought it, and of course, exactly how much I paid for it. I do hope you're enjoying this content. Please make sure to leave it a thumbs up if you are, and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next video with my M6.